hurt. Oh my.
Wild boars, a relentless menace to the farmers of southern Italy, are becoming more destructive with each passing day. This morning, we left the village of Alberobello, crossing the Whitestone Hills to reach La Poires, a place where fields of heavy grain are being ravaged. The locals here manage about 50 hectares of farmland, but half of it has already been trampled and destroyed. The damage continues to spread, and the crops are on the brink of being wiped out entirely. The sight of farmers' tears as they stand helplessly by their ruined fields has turned our resolve into a mission. That's why we, the elite hunting team from Alberobello, have made the decision to head out and assist the people of La Poires. Join us on this journey. We made our way to a deserted plot near the forest's edge to set up the traps, a carefully chosen spot, far enough from the fields to ensure the remaining crops were safe. 4K cameras, night vision binoculars, and bait boxes, everything was ready. The bait packets were placed in the clearing. A few minutes later, just as expected, a herd of wild boars lumbered into the area, drawn by the scent of food. Their gluttonous nature led them straight into danger, and that was our chance. We remained calm, not rushing into action. As the lead boar continued to focus on the food, the first arrow shot out, glowing red like fire, slicing through the air, hitting the target. The herd panicked and scattered, but two boars, still hungry, lingered behind. I carefully monitored their movements as one of them moved into perfect range. Without hesitation, the next arrow shot out like a gust of wind, hitting the wild boar squarely in the flank. It collapsed, taken down instantly, while the other boar bolted into the woods. This herd probably won't be back anytime soon. A great start to today's hunt.
We don't want to get too far that way.
No. I mean, there's a ton of cover there. If we go in there a little bit, stalk around on them.
As we ventured deeper into the forest of La Poires, we quickly realized the terrain was completely different. Open, airy woods with dry ground, making movement easier. It became clear that switching to bows rather than firearms was the right choice. The wild boars here were extremely sensitive to sound. Before us, two wild boars were calmly grazing on the open field. Mark signaled, and John immediately loosed an arrow. The sharp whoosh of the arrow echoed through the air, striking one of the boars. Both boars startled, spinning around before charging into the dense forest. The shot had been precise, and they vanished into the wilderness in an instant. A few more troublemakers had been intimidated by our presence, and they were unlikely to venture near the rice fields again. By noon, we made our way up to a new lookout post not far from where we were, offering a wide view of the open ground below. The wild boars appeared, drawn by the bait we set out earlier in the morning. John stood firm, his eyes locked on the target, carefully lining up the shot. He wasn't in a rush. With patient precision, he waited for the perfect moment, then gently and decisively pulled the bowstring. With the skill of a seasoned hunter, the arrow flew through the air, striking the lead boar squarely, giving it no chance to escape. A clean, precise shot, powerful and decisive. Impressed by John's calm execution? Leave a comment below and share your thoughts.
Hey, pig.
We decided to take a break near the ambush point, ready to act quickly, knowing that more greedy boars would likely appear. Sure enough, just as the sun began to dip slightly toward the west, another herd of large black wild boars made their way toward the bait. This time, Mark quietly signaled that he'd handle it. He calmly observed, choosing the perfect angle before releasing the arrow. The shot was precise, striking the lead boar and sending the rest of the herd into a panicked frenzy, scattering back into the forest. True to his role as team leader, Mark was quick and decisive, showcasing expert marksmanship. With just one misstep, these boars could have destroyed the entire area, but thanks to his skill, the field remained safe.
I might give it a minute.
Oh my gosh.
As dusk settled, a light rain unexpectedly began to fall over the forest. We decided not to push deeper, but instead sat under a makeshift shelter, continuing to observe the area where we had set the traps. As the rain subsided, leaving the ground damp, another herd of wild boars appeared. This time, there were far more than before. The entire team fell silent, waiting for the right moment. Suddenly, an arrow tipped with heat-seeking technology flew from John's bow, its red glow cutting through the darkness as it struck the lead boar dead on. Instantly, the entire herd panicked, charging into the woods, too terrified to even look back. The finishing shot was a clear warning to any troublemakers. This land had no refuge for them. Once again, order was restored to the fields. As the sun slowly set, a serene and peaceful scene unfolded, a moment so rare and beautiful after a long day of hunting. I thought to myself, it's not often you get to witness such tranquility. While the team was packing up and preparing to head home, my instincts as an experienced hunter kicked in. Sure enough, my eyes caught sight of a wild boar slowly appearing at the edge of the clearing. Without hesitation, I quietly repositioned the camera, adjusted the angle, and drew my bow. The arrow flew smoothly, silently, yet precisely, striking the boar and sending it spinning before darting off, leaving the peaceful field behind. Another troublemaker was sent packing. The sense of helping the people here gave me an unexpected feeling of relief and satisfaction. After a long day, we felt proud to have contributed to protecting the crops of the people in La Poires. The entire team climbed into the vehicle and silently made our way back to Alberobello, surrounded by the peaceful evening air. Mark replayed the footage from the day on the camera. The sound of the bowstring being pulled, the soft footsteps in the forest, and the intense chases. Sure, we were tired, but the joy and pride from having done something meaningful made all exhaustion fade away. The hunting journey ends here, but the battle to protect the crops is far from over. What do you think about our efforts? Don't forget to leave a comment, share the video, and follow us to join us on our future adventures.
Perfect.
The morning sun rises over the vast grasslands of America, and at the same time, Jake and his team prepare for a hunt filled with tension and adrenaline. For weeks, wild boars have been invading the area, devastating cornfields and destroying local crops. The villagers could no longer bear the chaos. This time, the hunters decided to take action. With weapons in hand, sharp eyes, and steady steps, the pursuit of these beasts of nature officially begins. The team quickly takes position, choosing the perfect ambush spot to cover the entire field. Not long after, the first two boars of the day appear, digging carelessly in the distance. Jake raises his rifle calmly, steadies his breathing, and locks the barrel onto the target. With one precise motion, he fires, perfectly accurate. One drops instantly, the other bolts without looking back. The opening shot proves Jake's mastery of timing and positioning, truly the mark of a seasoned sharpshooter. From a higher vantage point, Jake's teammate spots a massive shadow. Without hesitation, he tracks the beast's every move through the scope. Waiting for the exact golden moment when the boar is fully in sight, he squeezes the trigger. This was a textbook long-range shot, requiring not only absolute accuracy, but also patience to strike at the perfect time. Clearly, the combination of elevation and sharpshooting. After that strike, the team moves forward. Suddenly, the bushes nearby shake violently. One of Jake's experienced teammates instantly drops low, rifle ready. No rushing, just steady focus. He tracks the rustling bushes, waiting for the dark figure to emerge. The moment it appears, bang, the bullet cuts through the air, hitting dead center. What do you think of that shot? A chaotic situation handled cleanly in a split second, right? After regrouping and discussing strategy, Jake's team advances toward a dry grass patch about a kilometer away. Each member quickly takes their assigned position to secure the area. Jake moves silently. Then, a dark figure emerges in the distance, still far away. But for him, that's no problem. He lifts his rifle, inhales deeply, and with a single pull of the trigger, the bullet flies true, an absolute bullseye. That's the difference between an average hunter and a true marksman, isn't it? If you've never witnessed the toughness of wild boars in this region, watch what happens next. Shortly after the previous shot, Jake chooses a more open spot for a wider field of view. Suddenly, a massive boar bursts out, charging at incredible speed. Unfazed, Jake locks onto the target, and bang, the shot hits. The beast stubbornly keeps running, but Jake knows, with one well-placed bullet, escape is impossible. And indeed, after a short burst, the boar stumbles, struggles briefly, and collapses. This is the clear mark of a veteran marksman. No need for endless shots, just one bullet in the right spot seals the fate. Exhausted, the team decides to pack up and head home. Just as the hunt seems over, a lone wild beast suddenly bolts across the barren ground. Jake's teammate reacts instantly, raising his rifle and firing. The sharp crack echoes across the silent plain, marking the end of the ferocious boar. It tumbles, crashes down, and lies motionless. A swift, decisive finish. Today's hunt not only showcased Jake and his team's sharpshooting skills, but also proved the effectiveness of sound strategy and perfect coordination. Every bullet counted, ensuring the fields were safe from further destruction. And of course, this entire hunt was conducted within the law. If you want to follow more thrilling hunts, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next adventure. Before dawn breaks, the whole village still sleeps in peace, unaware that just beyond on the red soil hills, a hidden threat is on the move. They are destroyers, spreading terror across the farmlands, turning the sweat and labor of farmers into nothing but ruins overnight. Today, we hunters set out once again, embarking on a relentless battle to restore order to this land. The morning mist still draped the red soil hillside, but the foul, pungent smell of wild boar drifted on the wind, an omen of trouble for the farmers' fields. Just as we suspected, the cunning lead boar hid behind a bush, ready to bolt at the slightest sound. It leapt toward the opposite slope, only to land squarely in my crosshairs. Boom! The beast collapsed the moment it broke cover. Each bullet was more than a shot. It carried the safety of an entire village. The opening victory came through the radio, igniting our spirits. Coordination and strategic positioning were the keys to survival when facing an entire herd of savage boars. From the high slope across the valley, the panicked herd scrambled for escape. That was John's chance. John, our sharpest marksman, didn't miss. Spotting the frantic, dark shapes rushing through the trees, he chambered around and fired cleanly. reflexes sharp and accuracy razor fine, skills honed through countless hunting seasons. The hounds, trained with keen senses and hunting instinct, didn't fail us. They cornered a boar into a dead end. With no way out, David calmly stepped forward and granted it eternal rest. From the first track to the final shot, it was all a chain of trust and flawless teamwork. Before we could savor the win, John's scope caught movement in a nearby thicket. A plump boar feasted, carelessly, unaware of the danger looming. Quietly lifting his rifle, John held his breath, waiting for the exact moment it lowered its head. Boom! A precise, merciless shot, leaving it no chance. As the gunfire faded into silence, relief washed over us. Another threat eliminated, another mission complete. The sun was rising higher, its heat growing fierce, but our determination burned hotter still. Each time we remembered the farmers' tears watching their fields destroyed, our resolve deepened. Then came word from the scouts, a boar charging down the slope. The first shot missed, and the beast sprinted toward the cover of thick brush. We shifted direction, chasing fast. It was cunning, using the terrain to dodge shots with remarkable skill. But escape was not an option. Letting it slip away would mean tomorrow's disaster. That sly boar thought it could vanish into the undergrowth, but our hound's senses were sharper. Their relentless pursuit soon drove the exhausted beast into David's sights. Boom! The boar crashed into the brush, dust rising, silence falling. As the Land Rover defenders rolled off the hillside, the weight on our shoulders began to lift. The reward wasn't measured by the number of boars taken down, but by the relieved smiles of the people when we returned. Because the greatest prize of all was seeing the next sunrise over peaceful fields once more. Which moment stood out most to you? Tell us in the comments below. Have you ever wondered what drives hunters deep into the forest, facing danger in the biting cold of winter? Is it the thrill of the hunt or the primal call of survival? No, it's something more. It's standing up for what's right, a responsibility to the village. Winter is when wild boars come to wreak havoc, shattering the peace of the quiet village. The cold may bite, the weather may be harsh, but nothing is more terrifying than their roar. Bang! I tighten my grip on the rifle and move out again. The battle begins. This hill has been blanketed in snow for over a week now. The trees stand bare, but the wild boars keep rampaging, attacking the village and its people. From a distance, I watch the scene unfold. Sure enough, the culprit appears. It spots me early and bolts at full speed, desperate to escape. But what can it do? Once it's in my sights, there's no way out. I chamber around and squeeze the trigger, smooth and decisive. Boom! The bullet strikes true, cutting the boar down. It slides along the snowy ground before collapsing. The first target of the day has fallen, and I claimed it with ease. The quiet stillness of the forest was suddenly broken. From my experience, I knew immediately wild boars were nearby. I held my breath, watching carefully. One wrong sound could send them running. There it was, a young boar, unaware of the danger lurking just ahead. I waited until it stepped onto the trail, then made my move. Bang! The shot was so precise. The boar simply dropped without a chance to struggle. I let out a quiet sigh of relief. We pushed deeper into the forest, a place of bare branches and silent trees, yet still a prime hiding spot for the boars. From afar, I heard heavy footsteps crunching through the snow. Wild boar. A shadow was charging fast. Without hesitation, I raised my rifle and locked the target in my sights. I wasn't about to let it get away. Bang! The bullet tore through the air and struck the boar. It screamed in pain, collapsed, sliding across the snow before lying still. What do you think? A perfect shot, right? Let us know. The snow was melting and the weather had eased, making conditions ideal for a hunt. A herd of wild boars moved quietly through the underbrush. They huddled close, stepping softly. Only the crunch of dry leaves beneath their feet betrayed their presence. Suddenly, bang, I squeezed the trigger. The sharp crack of the rifle shattered the silent air. An adult boar froze in its tracks. Panic erupted among the herd as they scattered into the bushes.